5, 4, 3, 2, fun? That's right. It's New Year's Eve, everyone. And
it's first night.
Watched one thing and one thing only could slake our lust for New Year's Eve. KDOC's First Night with Jamie Kennedy, 2013. Here on Network Special, the only podcast that you need if you want to hear about appointment-based television, that golden era of television and beyond, where you could watch something when it was on TV only, and then if you wanted to see it again, you were a duck out of luck. But now, thanks to the magic of the internet, we can watch these things again and again and again. Happy New Year, everyone. It's me, your host, Zachariah, here with baby New Year himself, who?
Nathan Shear.
And old man Time, leaving with his scythe and his hourglass. Who's the producer?
Jeremy Demery.
He's here too. And he's still sick, everyone, because we record these on the same day. A little peek behind the curtain.
We record a year's worth in one day.
Does that seem like a lot?
Why do you think I'm always yawning?
Why do you think we never age on these things?
Yeah.
All right. When we were talking about what to do for New Year's, this is the first thing that jumped to my mind. We're talking about a New Year's Eve special. Sure, you have your Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve from year after year, highly produced. Classic. Yes, very classic. You're in Times Square. You have like A-list performers of whoever had the biggest chart toppers that year. It is as tightly produced as a drum, and just a class act production on a big scale. Well, what if you also wanted to do something else on a smaller scale? That's what they asked themselves on a local Orange County station, and they got people who were ringing out 2012 who were also in the midst of ringing out their careers. These are people who I would say are breathing their last breaths as C-list entertainers and are going down into the depths of D and E level entertainers, which is how you got Jamie Kennedy's first night and his last night. This only happened once because this special aired on midnight West Coast time, and it is infamous for the amount of technical failure of bleeping people when they cuss up a storm, of everyone being drunk or high, or
people
both.
Fighting.
People straight up fighting with each other. Yeah, Nathan, you watched this whole thing, correct?
Yes.
The entire 2 hours with commercials, hour and a half without.
Yeah, I didn't have any commercials.
Okay, well,
unless you count the sketches.
I kind of do. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. If you were worried you would only see Jamie Kennedy in host mode, don't worry. He does stand up. He does
Some
sketch.
Of his famous sketch comedies.
In his famous Man of 1,000 Faces, Jamie Kennedy. That is a big note that I put right on the top here, which is Jamie Kennedy has no face. There is nothing about his face that sticks in your brain. It is an amorphous blob of just the blandest white guy stuff. He has these
hair and teeth.
He has a nasty ass wire beard. He has squinty little rat eyes. He has a blob of hair that has no direction to it. He's just...
It looks like it's glued on.
Yeah, he's just the most unpleasant looking man in entertainment.
And when he's interviewing you, when you're speaking, he just kind of holds his mouth open, and in various stages of with like, he just holds his mouth open like.
Do you think that's just a failure of control of your face, or do you think that is him waiting to say something?
Of course, that's what it is. It's him waiting. It's him waiting to say something because he's always got some hilarious quip, some anecdote about someone's boobs just on the tip of his tongue at any moment.
he really, man, I mean, this guy has to be a sociopathic egomaniac to get as far as he got. I guess he wasn't getting jobs in comedy, so he invented a fake name for himself and acted as his own agent and would call people pretending to be his agent and get himself booked that way. What is he? He's known, he got his break because he's in Scream. And then he was on the Jamie
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it's not like he was the star of Romeo and Juliet. I mean, he's in Bowfinger too, but he got...
It was Leonardo. If you go down the list of IMDb, it's Leo, it's Claire, and it's Jamie, and it's right there, Jamie, right next to it.
I guess that's true.
Leguizamo's at least 4 down below.
I guess in the poster they're kissing, and then Jamie Kennedy's looking between them, like, yeah,
looking at her boobs.
He's pretending to look at her gazongas.
like his hands are like bent over her skirt, like his head's coming out from between her cleavage.
And then the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which is like Sacha Baron Cohen for frat guys. And then he did a series of movies.
Also, don't forget about the Heckler documentary, where he tries to get deep into the mind of hecklers, people who make fun of him when he's trying to do comedy.
Well, the reason he made that movie is because people so unfairly dogpiled him after his starring role in Son of Mask, a movie we've all come around to now. We all appreciate it.
It's a cult classic. They played that on the at the Enzian Theater on the lawn.
Have you ever seen the? You know how in the Mask, the original Mask, they do Cuban Pete, where the mask bursts into song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you familiar with in Son of Mask when they try to do the same thing, but it's I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You?
Oh, no, I've not
Let's
seen
hear a little
Son of
bit
Mask.
right now. Skip to the middle here.
Odd.
Oh, man.
You're just too good to be true. I can't take my...
Here we go.
On to the main event.
Art in the way that I stare. No one else who can compare. The sight of you.
Is that Jamie Kennedy?
There are no words.
Yes, but we haven't gotten to the rap yet.
Oh, no.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. You feel like having a touch. I want to hold you so much. Not last long, lovers arrive. I thank the Lord I'm alive. You too good to be
Turn
true.
it off. There's nothing this man does that doesn't embarrass me.
Jamie Kennedy, what can he do? So
it's like there's so many times where I almost turned off this special and said I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing the episode.
Am I wrong in saying you have a lower tolerance for painful awkwardness in real life, like watching these things unfold in real life?
Yeah,
not like The Office awkwardness.
Yeah,
but
like
when
on
it's actually
TV,
happening.
like if it's written or improvised, I'm all in.
Right.
But if people are embarrassing and they don't realize they're embarrassing, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Well, sure, right, but you don't get any kind of perverse joy from that, like I do.
Okay, I like to see people get their like comeuppance, you know, in the sense of like people who are overly. Like I love to see the backlash of this special and hear about it and hear about people making fun of it.
Sure.
But watching it is just it's just horrible. Like he does, like there's no, and then it's just embarrassing. And then to see them like try to act as if this was some kind of Spinal Tap joke or something is like insane to me.
Yeah. Jamie Kennedy got a series of sponsors for his New Year's special. I don't know if you could tell, but Carl's Jr. was one of the sponsors of the show. And it's very subtly integrated by things like instead of a ball that they drop, it's a big Carl's Jr. star that they're dropping down a pole. Or people talking about how excited they are to eat at the Carl's Jr. food truck. A thing we all know about, we're very familiar with. It's a staple of American dining. So that's integrated.
And I love that someone's like, I don't even know what Carl's Jr. is. We have Hardee's where I'm from.
She really took him to task.
Oh, yeah.
Needless to say, this is all live when it's being shown. And we have a bunch of heavy hitters that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Shannon Elizabeth. We're going to talk about Drake Bell. We're going to talk about Macy Gray. But before that, we're going to take on some of the things that happened in 2012 with a little of Jamie Kennedy's stand-up comedy. And let me tell you, he takes on Honey Boo Boo. He takes on Lindsay Lohan. He takes on Snooki. Any woman in entertainment, he is not afraid to take down and tell the truth about. And here's a little sample of Jamie Kennedy's stand-up getting this night started right.
Are you guys excited to be here tonight? Are you guys excited to be here tonight? Keep it going up there. Keep that going. Keep that next one going. Keep it going. Keep it going. That's right. That's right. We're going to have some crazy stuff. Did you guys hear that Kim Kardashian last night announced that she was pregnant? Did you guys hear this? Yes. Luckily she's a Kardashian because it's not called a baby bump. It's called junk in the front. When Kim announced that she was pregnant, Yeezy, that's her husband, Kanye, wasn't much help. He interrupted her, and he said, I quote, hey, Kim, hold on a second. I want to tell you, I'm really happy for our pregnancy, but I'm going to let you know right now, and before I let you finish, Beyonce had one of the best hip-hop pregnancies of the year. That was funnier than that. That was funnier. Rumor has it that the baby's first sex tape is going to leak any day. Too soon? Is it too soon? Too soon?
Boy.
May I interject here for a second?
Anything. Now, Jeremy, you perform stand-up. You must be loving this.
Oh,
Learning at the feet of the masters?
what a lesson has been, what a gift this has been given to me. It's so funny to me when like a network tries to film stand-up and doesn't realize like, oh, we should probably mic the audience for laughs.
The few you can hear, yeah. I mean, based on his response, I don't know how much more of a pop this was really getting.
Oh, for sure.
Well, they keep cutting to people in the audience who are not reacting at all. Whoever's directing this special is horrible.
There are people in the front row having a conversation with each other, not listening to Jamie Kennedy. Also, people are setting up the band equipment right in back. Like, stage guys are just pushing past him. Like, excuse me, like bumping shoulders with him, trying to get the congas set up.
It is definitely like someone has jumped on stage and is trying to like do a little kid like somehow got on stage and is doing a little dance for everyone.
Here is a tip if you ever do stand-up is telling the audience that actually that was a very funny joke. It shames them. It shames them into laughing.
It's a good save.
I mean, he references it eventually. Like, it's always great to do comedy when people are setting up the stage. But like,
he blames everything but his material.
I cannot believe how like if that was happening and I was setting up the stage, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't think we're supposed to be up here. Like I would be, but these guys are like, no, we got a freaking band to set. Like this guy's like, who's this guy? Who's this guy on the microphone? Move out of the way. I'm trying to set up the stage. And he's the freaking host.
Another thing that I just want to say, if you are doing stand-up, it is very important to set up your bit well. You want people to understand the premise that you're going to be diving into, so everybody is on the same page when you go into your jokes and your material. So one way is to ask the crowd a question and just kind of make it sound natural and off the cuff and kind of try to do it like this.
How many of you guys here like your new technology products?
It's like Byron Allen or whatever. Like, is that the guy's name? The guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hear you're into technology.
And from that, do you want to hear the joke that follows that Dynamite setup?
Well, you gotta.
I gotta tell you, I'm excited I didn't use Apple Maps to get here. I'd be hosting this thing in a gas station in South Central. Hey, dope boy. No, reportedly, Kristen Stewart used Apple Maps to find Robert Pattinson's hotel room and ended up in Rupert Sanders' crotch. My Apple Maps don't take me to nobody's
this guy's
crotch.
like,
They take them to you. They take you to hair club, sir. You got great hair.
this guy's like doing like that's like a Dennis Miller but for dummies.
Oh yeah, this made me I walked everything back I said about Dennis Miller when we did MTV. I was like, wow, he was hysterical.
But the thing, okay, so like when you're watching this, whoever's directing this, they are cutting, they're cutting. Like, I don't know if at one point, like, the guy was like, okay, there's a good shot of people enjoying this, cut to them. And then as soon as they cut to them, the people immediately stop enjoying it and you're seeing them. Like, that's what it looks like. Or there's sometimes where, like, with the director will cut and it's just someone's, like, neck, like a corner of their neck, like the camera moved and he was like, no, cut away.
I mean,
it's horrible.
I bet you that a lot of Jamie Kennedy's buddies worked on this, or everyone was just drunk. I mean, people on this show are clearly
they've all celebrated
wasted.
already. They've already celebrated with New Year's Eve in
They
New
did
York.
a little East Coast celebration before the West Coast kicked in.
Yeah.
But it's not all going to be laughs. Of course, we're going to talk to some celebrities. Very exciting, riveting interviews with people like Shannon Elizabeth.
And who's doing the interviews?
Stu Stone, who did Kennedy's comedy albums with him. What was his comedy album called? Rip a Dip or something like that? Let me see here. Blowing Up from 2006. Of course, featuring the single Rollin' with Saget, the very funny joke where you point out that Bob Saget actually does a lot of dirty humor. Even though he was on Full House, Nathan, Bob Saget isn't the character on Full House.
Oh, wait a second.
He talks about jerking it.
Wait, no. Because whenever I see him on TV, he's always like the clean cut guy, like a nice family man.
I have a hilarious twist for you. He talks about jerking it.
That
yeah
sickens me.
Did you have a comment about Stu Stone? Is that why you were asking about him?
I don't hate Stu Stone.
Sure, I've never heard of him before this, quite honestly.
I recognize him somehow, and his voice sounds familiar. I don't know from what.
He looks like Steve-O.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's just a big pile of things are all mashed into one thing that I'm thinking of. But he, I feel like him and the lady, the other person who hosts, I don't remember her name.
Both Canadians.
I feel like, what's that?
Both Canadians. Go on.
Yeah, I feel like they're like the only ones who are like professional. Like they're doing a okay job. Like
sure,
they're like
agreed.
Asking the questions. They're they're like there's one point where someone cusses while Stu Stone's interviewing him, and Stu Stone cuts away, and the guy tries to get back on. He's like, I don't even like. He doesn't even. Yeah. Like he doesn't even give the guy another chance. Like he's like, no, I got this. Like I feel like they're doing what Jamie Kennedy should be doing. So, but this whole thing sucks. But like, I was also like, I don't hate these guys.
Interesting that you talked about people swearing on mic, because there's a couple instances where they cut back to what the action is supposed to be on stage, and nobody on stage realizes that they're on camera. So we get audio like this.
Come on, man. Don't fucking give me shit, dude. Come on, man. I gotta have this. There's no camera to work on the show. It should be right here. Roman right here. Where's our camera guy? It's called Fairly Odd Christmas. Okay. As a live action.
Where's our stage manager?
Jamie, don't talk into the mic. They can hear you.
This is just part of the show.
Yeah, this is just live feed from the show in LA, in Orange County.
And then he just goes, "Are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Are we on?" And like yeah, like there's no he has got no headpiece, like no earpiece or anything. No one's telling him like what to do. Like they're just like, "Oh, we're back."
I think he does have an earpiece. I don't know how much he can hear what's going on.
Okay.
As
He's like, "Where's the stage manager?"
I mean, it looks like a lot of parties that this makes it sound like I'm there all the time. I've been to a couple like LA parties, and everybody there, I think, just goes to parties so much. Everyone looks burnt out and bored. And it's very accurately represented here, where everyone's just kind of like slumped over and not into seeing a celebrity in front of them.
Well, and also the celebrity is not exactly what they were hoping for, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming so, because we talked to Shannon Elizabeth, who just talks about how she is directing a TV show and she has a line of cosmetics coming out. But every interviewer, without fail, has been told to ask two things. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? No one has an answer for that. Do you have a New Year's kiss? People have odd answers for that as well. And then if you're talking to a woman, be sure to reference her breasts.
Yes, it's just like every single interview is the same thing.
The prescient moment when we go from Shannon Elizabeth to cool guy Drake Bell, who was from Jake and Josh, recently put Cleveland on the map for being arrested here for propositioning a minor for sex.
Yes. When he was, 30 and she was like 13 or something like that?
Yeah,
something
just about
insane.
that. Yeah. But according to him, big misunderstanding.
Yeah. She pursued him.
Mm-hmm. And she never said how old she was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Now, this is one of the classic moments.
Yes.
For pedophiles in entertainment. And this stuff happens all the time, and I love it every single time, where this is the kind of cringe I love, where inevitably a person who years from the moment gets caught doing some stuff with underage people, someone makes an underage joke to them. And the interviewer says to him, "Do you have a kiss, a New Year's kiss?" And he says something, he points to it, whatever, and he does "Yeah, I do," whatever. I don't want to make them embarrassed.
Because
and
she says, "Oh, you just won a bunch of Nickelodeon awards. So,
yeah.
Teens love you."
Yeah. And then she goes, "Well, at least as long as she's 18," and he makes a face of
He looks right at the camera and his eyes bug out of his skull.
It is, it's just, how could we have not seen it coming? I guess, I don't know. It's just like that. That stuff happens all the time.
Everyone who's been on a live action Nickelodeon show needs to be vetted every 10 years. Somebody just needs to check up on them to make sure they're not up to anything. We get a very brief interview with Adam Pearce, who I guess is a wrestler.
Yeah,
he's at a blackjack table. And do you know what I'm talking about this moment? Mm-hmm. Okay, I have it queued up. Hopefully it's not really...
Listen, there's Bo Jackson, there's Deion Sanders. I'm going to become the first 2013 two-sport champion. Wrestling and blackjack. Let's make this happen.
Do you have a strategy, Adam, that is different for blackjack than, say, when I go down to Commerce and I play?
You're damn right I got a strategy. Hit me. Come on, dealer, let's move it. No, hit me in the face!
All right, it's getting a little out of control here.
So the wrestler who is facing away from the camera is telling the blackjack dealer to hurry up and hit me. And as you can hear, starts slamming his fist down and screaming, "Hit me in the face." And the blackjack dealer looks terrified. This is not a bit. This is a very small woman he is screaming at. And Stu jumps up and covers whatever is happening with his body. Like you were saying, trying to gear more professional. Clearly something has snapped in this man's brain.
Well, it's clear that she's I'm assuming that she knew something was going to happen, but not to the intensity that this was happening.
No. I don't know if anybody got much warning, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to read. And also, I forgot about it because I was so busy laughing at the next sketch, which is a very subtle advertisement for the Commerce Hotel and Casino poker tournament, gambling tournament that was coming
up. Which he
up.
alludes to in that sketch. This is the second sponsor.
Yeah. And Jamie Kennedy in what looks like a ad you would shoot as your first attempt at shooting a video sketch in college, with a microphone built into the camera. And he's telling people about this character he's going to do where he's dressed as a playing card. And Jamie Kennedy's just a little bit too forward with all these people, and he winds up spooking the patrons, including a bunch of Asian people at a blackjack table. And he says
something to them like in Chinese. Like he says like Chinese or something.
Something
I don't know if it's fake
legitimate
Chinese.
in Chinese? Okay.
I don't know if it's real Chinese or just a fake Chinese, whatever.
Here it is.
I'm
I got
assuming
it.
it's fake.
I got it.
I know, she said bang!
We don't speak Asian. We're all from Sherman Oaks.
We don't speak Asian.
No, that's
inclusivity, people.
how do you pay an Asian person to do that? Oh, like I'm mad at that guy. Like
For
I know
agreeing.
it's not his fault.
Sure.
Like I know it's not his fault. I know that they like Hollywood is what it is. But I'm like, come on, dude. At least you could have said we're not Chinese. Like Jemmy, I'm gonna say we're not Chinese, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Unless that was just part of the joke too. Like Jamie's like, no, it'll be funnier if you say we don't speak Oriental or something. You know, like something.
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess I'm just thanking my stars. He doesn't actually say "ching chong" or something like that to the Asian.
No,
people.
instead he goes, "Bang dong, ding, 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 dong,
Yeah,
dong."
that's true. Yeah. You ain't off the hook, Jamie. We talk, as you say, to an Olympian who is slumming it with Jamie Kennedy. They kick to a hilarious remote where the joke is for about 5 minutes that Jamie Kennedy has very tight running pants on.
That they're women's clothing that Nike has given him.
As a man wearing women's clothing, is there anything more hysterical? Then we go to Stu talking to another sponsor, Anna Rosales, a woman who seems to be. We talked to several very beautiful women who seem to be living out their days doing their quote charities, but she is a
my god
effortless spokesperson, as you can hear in this clip.
Welcome, Anna Rosales. Hello, Anna. Anna, I got questions. I know you've got answers. Can you tell us first and foremost, how can we improve the energy efficiency in our homes?
Hi, Stu. It is a pleasure to meet you. And California homeowners could do different types of energy efficient type of projects to their homes. Anything like changing out their windows from single pane to double pane, insulating their home, improving their heating and AC systems, and many more. And now we actually have a statewide program, Energy Upgrade California, that will give you incentives to do those type of projects in your home.
Now, let me ask you, how much? Be honest with me, okay? Stu the Jew here. I need.
Now, look, I don't want to laugh at broken English. That's not
funny
what that
is
to me. That right? No, this is someone who's I don't understand all of this. Like they have a couple like this, and each one of them, English definitely is their second language, and they're also either reading from cue cards or something that they've memorized that they have not quite gotten down.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they're fumbling because they're trying to remember this thing that they don't have memorized, and they're also struggling with the English. And what's funny is the looseness of this thing that, like, I don't even honestly know what companies these people. I don't know. Like, this is an utter failure in terms of advertising something.
Well, there's the step and repeats, those things that people stand in front of at ceremonies, and it'll have the logos of whoever's sponsoring behind them, like tiled. When you look at the step and repeat behind them, it is Carl's Jr. It's the LA Chamber of Commerce. I believe that's what she's from, because she's talking about energy efficiency in your home in LA.
Oh my gosh.
Commerce must have been thrilled with this plug. And our first musical act of the night comes up, Nathan. Macy Gray.
Now,
Macy Gray in 2013.
Now, this isn't the first. We don't actually have footage.
We don't have it.
From Girl Squad or something is the other group, right? Girl Squad and DTK is another one that we see them on stage.
That's later.
But we don't hear their music.
Yeah, I have it.
You have it? Okay, I'm excited to hear because I was looking for it. There's like 50 DTKs on Apple Music.
We'll get to DTK. Here's Macy Gray's immaculate miking.
Hey ho!
That hey ho is not Macy Gray. That is the backup singer who is turned all the way up, and Macy Gray who is turned up to about halfway.
By the way,
2 people are doing hey ho in the audience. What's up?
And by the way, Macy Gray can go home as far as I'm concerned. This lady's killing it. Her sidekick is killing it. And Macy Gray's just, But my smiles are just a front. Just a front. Hey, she does that thing where she gets mad at the audience for not being into not dancing and going crazy and stuff. And so she'll be like, okay, on this next one, let's get going. And then she sings a ballad. You're like, what the heck?
Now it's about 10 minutes to midnight, but Macy Gray gets a little bit impatient to have the night go on.
All right, what time is it? How much time do we have? What time is it? 11:15. 10 minutes. What are you guys gonna do at midnight? Why don't you just be early? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now,
do you?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I was going to say Macy Gray leads them into midnight. This show can't even get the countdown right. They are 10 seconds behind. So it is midnight, and they're going 10, 9.
He kept saying, where's my clock?
Yes,
Where's
they can't see their clock. They cannot see a countdown clock because nobody has thought to. There is a massive screen behind them. They are at the Man's Chinese Theater in LA. Nobody has thought to turn the projection into a clock behind them.
I know. Do you have music from Girl Squad?
That is what nobody seems to have footage of, is the Girl Squad performance.
And you don't have any just music from them?
No, I tried tracking them down. Girl Squad and the band that comes later, DTK. I tried looking for them, and then I asked 2 very musically adept friends of mine, do you know who these people are? They didn't know about them, and when they tried searching them, they're like, it's like these groups don't exist.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they were just
local bands.
Local bands, performers, friends, people who would show up for free, maybe. They are maybe friends or children of some of the people who we talk to who are sponsors of the show. That's very possible.
Yeah. They're definitely like kids.
Girl Squad, he references that they are like 14. Very comfortable moment. Yeah.
And Jamie Kennedy makes like a racist joke too.
Quite a few times. I get the impression Jamie Kennedy, because of his funny rap stuff, I think he feels like maybe a black person said it was funny to him once, and he just rode that hard as I can do or say anything.
Like he feels like he has like a card,
I get that feel from him.
And now I don't know. I'd have to ask some friends, but maybe he may be too far removed. But I just wonder: does he have that? Does he have cred? To where he can kind of riff like that, but because Bone Thugs and Harmony later, like they say, they all know about Malibu's Most Wanted and stuff. Like, so I wonder if like it was a little bit of a hit in the black community, but I don't know.
I'm going to say Jamie Kennedy's not at the level that he can do anything.
No. I think he's way off base here.
Okay.
I think he does not. I don't think he has I don't think he is going to be invited to the barbecues. I'm just saying, like, I think he thinks he is, but
Absolutely.
I'm curious. Maybe he does have a little bit more cred than we know. But
Well, if you're talking about Bone Thugs like being nice to him, I would be nice to the host who invited me on his show too.
do you think they're lying? They're not really.
I mean, they're in show business. They're gonna say whatever. This is Bone Thugs like gasping their last. This is their second to last album coming out in 2013.
This is soccer mom Bone Thugs.
Do we want to hear when Stu asks some people in the crowd what their New Year's resolutions are going to be?
Yes, let's do it.
Here we go. What's
Stu
your
the
name,
Jew.
sir?
Wait. I'm going to back it up.
Here we go. What's your name, sir? Talon motherfucking Bro.
Whoa. Let's go. And then he goes to his mom instead.
Yeah, then we meet his mom because I'm his mother.
Everyone in this crowd, this is the biggest collection of wannabe tech bros.
And their moms.
Ever. And their moms ever in this freaking crowd.
Yeah, and this is followed pretty quickly by a Bone Thugs, but not before a very funny sketch, again promoting the casino big night where everybody is around a boardroom table and they are all dressed what I could charitably say is 1950s toy Native American headgear and makeup, but that we are then quickly told they are Aztec or Mayans. They're supposed to be Mayans. I was like, well, it sure doesn't read as that. And you're going into a casino. This is the worst look possible. Everyone's dressed whitey-white.
They're dressed like the characters from Peter Pan's from Neverland.
Yeah.
That's what they're dressed like, but they're supposed to be Mayans.
Mm-hmm. We get some, again, really well mic'd Bone Thugs. Let's hear a little bit of their performance.
That'd be fucked with. I'll tell you like a touch on me, cause you never think about me. Everything about me.
That was a super cut of everything you shouldn't be saying on network television.
So let me ask. So before we get too deep into Bone Thugs, have we seen the Playboy model yet?
Yes. Do you want to hear her cut from the party?
This is another host, right? And she what is the one she's like eating a turkey sandwich from Carl's Jr.?
Oh yeah, she's eating the new turkey sandwich from Carl's Jr. Mm-hmm.
And she's does she even take a bite of the thing?
She takes what it looks like she is just gumming the side of the sandwich. Like she just pushes her mouth along the side of the sandwich.
And it's supposed to be like a sexy way that she eats it or something?
Yeah, sure. Because Hardee's was doing all of those Paris Hilton ads where Paris Hilton would like soap up the car and be eating a burger on the hood of the car.
Okay.
That was that whole era.
So now she's hosting a separate party at something called the Supper Club.
Yeah, they're at a really depressing looking club where people are kind of like standing around.
Right. And can we just hear her describing what is going on at this party?
Let's hear her.
They cut to the
talk.
Supper Club.
And I will say before I play this, I don't know if anyone's explained to her what a microphone does. Like, you don't have to yell to the camera person. The microphone will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
I'm back at the Supper Club. I've had a little something to eat, and now I'm ready to get my drink on. Here at the Supper Club, they don't do things just normal. When you order a drink, it actually comes from the sky. Aerialists bring down my champagne. I can't wait. I think I'm going to be up there next. Holy cow, look at that champagne. I'm so excited. The party is really going strong here. Everyone's ringing in the New Year's Eve, and we are excited to get our champagne
There's a woman on like an aerial rope with a bottle of champagne, and she's just kind of.
I guess
swinging
if
around.
you like, I think if you buy like this big bottle or something, that's how they give it to you or something.
Probably, it's like a bottle service thing.
Yeah, but like. They cut to her at the supper club twice, and the other time she's just going, "This is such a big party. Everyone's partying really much. This is an exciting party. Oh yeah, if you look, everyone's looking, and everyone has a party on their face." Like she's just like
Cut to people looking bored.
Yes, everyone's going. And, it's just. It's miserable. It's embarrassing. Like that was like whenever she shows up on that. Okay. I am very much triggered by women who
careful
like what that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like women who are like very like supposed to be sexy and stuff, but they are very much like they're really drunk or like and they can't really control what they're saying and but they are very much sure of themselves, very confident of what's going on, that what is happening is the right thing. It's like the character on Saturday Night Live, the drunk girl at a party, like you know, like
right.
that, like it's that is one of my favorite characters that Cicely does, but in real life it is so cringy.
Sure.
And so to watch this live on the show, like, and what also is cringy to me is guys like Jamie Kennedy were probably trying to like get her in bed later, and
right.
and that's like it like
so
it's
gross.
so gross and like it's just everything about it is just I mean I my apologies to this nice woman.
We don't know.
But
I will say though, at this special, it's like we're watching awkward comedy. We're watching people who are too drunk be really loud and kind of incoherent. There's sound problems. This is very accurate to what I feel like when I am at a New Year's Eve party I've paid for. People standing around trying to get their money's worth. A person who has quotes around the word celebrity.
Yep.
We talked to Busy Bone for a minute, right after that.
No, this is my favorite.
Did you want to hear any of this?
Can we just hear like let me just do my impression of it and then let's hear it because I want to see how far off I am from it. Okay.
Okay.
You know how I do impressions.
I sure do.
Okay, so here's my impression of Busy Bone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I've been living out here in LA for a long time now, and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you, man. Yeah. Malibu's most wanted. Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
Okay. Does he sound like a nervous Michael Jackson?
So far. Well, I've been living out here for a while now, and it's always exciting, it's always live, and it's always love. So I want to thank everybody out here that helped us out. Thank Jamie Kennedy, 2013.
I think he has a little more twang.
Now, do you have a New Year's resolution for 2013, sir?
Health,
You're
wealth,
right,
and happiness.
Hey, that sounds...
I did start. I did end on a very Michael Jackson-y kind of impression, but no, come on, I got that. I was pretty close.
Yeah. You were good.
Now, hometown heroes, Cleveland boys, all the way from the east side, East 99th.
Yeah, just
where
like
you'll
I
find
said, kind of doing their last lap, their second to last.
No
album.
no crossroads at this show, thankfully, because that would have been such a downer.
No, they did first of the month, of course.
Oh, of course, you have to do that one, and that one works every time.
As does,
and everyone in the audience. That's where people really, I feel like people really get interested, is when Bone Thugs shows up.
That was the only thing that seemed to pop for the audience. And of course, Jamie Kennedy had to stay on stage and be doing like waving his hand around. Oh God, it was so, that is the only part where I felt like throwing up. That was so awkward, but he got it all back when he did this hysterical bit with a woman who just wandered on stage, apparently.
Yes! All your haters, can I ask you something? Do you like white boys?
I love the hell out of some white people.
You love the hell? You know what they say? Is it true what they say? They say once you go black...
You never go back.
Yeah, well, I'm saying you should try white. because it'll keep your vagina very tight. Bleep that. Bleep that.
He can't even get the rhythm right. It will keep your vagina very tight.
He can't. And then this is where, when he says you should try white, one of the DTK boys leans his head forward and he's like, I can't wait for this punchline.
DDK, like I said, I cannot find anything about this band. I think this is just somebody's kid's emo band.
Okay.
You want to hear a little bit of what we were missing, and apparently the cut that you saw?
Yeah.
Cause no one can mistake. They left me. Come on, make some noise. Give it up, let it go. I'm the only one who knows. Now bury you below, alone. With all of your.
It sounds like one of those videos that they dub in the shredding videos.
To me, it sounds like when you're trying to sing a song and you like really know parts of it, and the other parts you're just kind of like, we're going home.
After TDK exhausts the audience's patience, we then see a clip of Jamie Kennedy just nailing his improv skills at a puppet improv group, which I think was the Henson Puppets Up improv group. It's all about rape. If you enjoy the funniness of hearing puppets say rape, it never gets old. And Jamie Kennedy stands there just kind of staring at them. Not because he doesn't think it's funny. He just doesn't know what to say.
I feel like the only one who's properly responding to this is Jamie Kennedy. He's just sitting there like, I don't know if I want to be involved in this, even though that's not what he's thinking.
No.
But he's just making that face.
Let's see. And then is there anything we want to talk about? I know we're kind of getting through this, but this is just sort of a fascinating pile of incompetence. Is there anything you want to talk about before we get to the grand finale?
So, I'm trying to think exactly like if there's any other big moments. Like there's one where he does a sketch where he's like doing comedy about saving energy.
Yeah, he says I'm really into being green now. So they show him at the Laugh Factory, and instead of doing jokes, he's saying how to save energy for your home, but it's done without any kind of comic timing or rhythm. So it just kind of lands in the water.
Yeah. And that's the only one, right? Are there any other there's the heist. The casino heist sketch.
I don't know if I remember that one. Sorry.
So like basically it's like a Ocean's 11 play.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're going to like rob the Commerce Casino.
This is different than the Mayan sketch?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe you didn't see this one. Maybe we have different cuts. But he has this team of people. Like one's like a Asian guy who doesn't speak English. You know, one's a sexy lady, one's him, and then one's Stu or someone. And so they go in, and what happens when they're going on their heist, and what happens is they each get caught up in all the different games that Commerce has. So many different fun games that they end up not doing the heist because they're just so because Commerce has so much fun.
The comedy of saying how wonderful a product is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Big hit at the shareholders meeting. The pacing of this thing is so strange because the last thing we end on is TDK, then puppet improv, then a woman from another chamber of commerce speaking, and then we say goodbye to the audience.
Unbelievable night. We want to thank everyone who came out. DTK, Macy Gray, Bone Fencing Hargan, Virgin
Bone Cog and Pamba
It's
Feet.
getting crazy here. We also want to thank Carl's Jr.
God bless you, and we'll see you in 2024.
Good night.
And you see in the behind them that several people there. You just see like fists kind of flying behind them.
There's a fight. It's ending with a fight. It's ending with a fight.
Guys, please.
God bless it. Get out. Go to a cartoon. Jesse, come down.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Jamie
Good
Kennedy
night.
jumping off the stage and taking the hosts with him as
He is
security is trying to get
definitely-
on stage. Now,
He's
This is-
definitely running away from that fight.
this is credits, by the way. The silence that you're hearing,
Oh, yes.
this is playing over the credits and seeing people milling around on stage.
They've cut the audio, but you see everything.
We talked about, like, we're talking about different cuts. There is a full length version of this on YouTube, but I think they played this again immediately after it aired and they bleeped out some of the swearing and they cut out some of the technical mistakes. And then there's a short highlight version where they show kind of a best of the mistakes. And then there's another version that we got on a torrent site, and it's sort of a mixed bag of the two things. So I don't know how many times this aired. I guess they had to get their money's worth. I'm sure they poured some money into this thing. I mean, renting out the space in front of the Chinese man's theater is not cheap. It's not free.
I mean, obviously, the majority of the money came from Carl's Jr.
I would hope so, as that
That's
star
why they're so-
is grinning over them like the eyes of T.J. Eckleberg and Great Gatsby. Like the star is just looking over this whole chaos.
Mr. Miller, Mr. Miller just made an appearance.
So you found a clip where Stu responds to this, and I understand that Jamie Kennedy responded the same way. Talk a little bit about that.
So he's on K-Rock, Stu is, and he's trying to play it off like, yeah, he actually says, yeah, a lot of stuff went wrong, but actually like a lot of stuff went right. Like the way it's supposed to go. Like basically they're trying to act like this is Spinal Tap. Like they wanted to be the anti Ryan Seacrest. So like everything was gonna be it was not gonna go well. Like this, like he even says, Jamie Kennedy's a big fan of Andy Kaufman.
Give me a break.
And so yeah, so this is all just a ruse. It was all just supposed to be like this. Like this is some like Tim and Eric like.
Yes, it's edited like Tim and Eric. Yeah, because right after it, let's see. So this is January 6th. New York Times called Kennedy, and Kennedy said, it was totally supposed to be like that. We wanted to make almost an anti-New Year's Eve show, and the recipe calls for the unexpected. That's not that. Come on, Jamie.
That's not
don't
what
be
you
a
call
coward.
unexpected. Like unexpected is like Bone Thugs and Harmony just showed up. We had no idea, and then all of a sudden they do a show. You're like, oh, wouldn't it be great? Or like unexpected is, Prince is on stage and Michael Jackson's in the audience, and he calls them up on stage to perform. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the cameraman, the director switching to someone's hairy neck during the middle of a show is not unexpected. That's a freaking mistake. That's a glitch. It's not even funny. Like, okay, let's say we knew. Let's say that this was like Tim Heidecker doing his comedian character, right? And it's him hosting a New Year's Eve special, and he's doing all the stuff he does, right? Like if I reframe everything through that, then maybe some parts, maybe some are kind of funny, maybe, but like they're not even like the stuff's not even so bad it's funny territory, or like you know that this is a style that someone does. It's like, no, this is what Jamie Kennedy does as his stuff. So like he can't do what he does normally and then pretend like it wasn't supposed to be this.
So with that, I will say this is going to go straight out to Jamie Kennedy, who I'm sure is a listener and a big fan. If this was intentional, Jamie Kennedy, you have a whole year to prepare. I want you to do this again. And I want you to see, I want to see the same style of comedy that apparently you had in the bag from the beginning. I want to see you replicate this because that's what you want to do. So that's the Jamie Kennedy challenge for 2022. Again, you have a whole year. Yeah.
Wait a second. I just thought of something. Maybe his whole career is an Andy Kaufman style thing.
Then he's nailing it.
Then I'm loving this.
Scream,
I'm all in on this.
Scream was like his Taxi. It was his way to get America to fall in love with him, playing kind of a dope. Then Malibu Most Wanted is like his heart beeps, right? He's playing a character under a lot of makeup.
Who's and Stu Stone is
Robert
Tony
Zmuda?
Clifton.
Right. Well, that's his Robert Zmuda, who is like his right-hand man.
Right. So who is Tony Clifton?
Oh, well, it's whoever is Malibu's Most Wanted, of course.
B-Rad or something?
Sure. You tell me.
I don't know. I don't have the cast list.
Or maybe we have yet to see it. I can only hope that in this new year, we will see the character that Kennedy's been probably workshopping at the Laugh Factory for years now, just waiting to unleash on us all. The way that, Sacha Baron Cohen couldn't tell us he was making another Borat movie. Jamie Kennedy is probably somebody we love right now. He's probably a big celebrity or a politician, and that's him in makeup.
Oh, you think he's Lauren Boebert or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be a big reveal. We'll love it.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I think it's worth online going on and looking up that montage of mistakes because that's funny to watch. I don't think you got to sit through this one unless you enjoy watching failure in real time. but I think it's definitely worth watching the mess ups.
I'll tell you what's not an exercise in failure is this podcast.
Oh.
And if you agree with that statement, you should go on whatever streaming service you had and you should rate, review, and subscribe. You should subscribe to our YouTube or TikTok.
Yeah, go on Netflix.
Everything. Go on Netflix and just yell the word network special into it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in this magical new year. And producer Jeremy,
on your technology devices.
Producer Jeremy, what is your famous resolution for this year?
Famous.
Same as everyone else's. A whole lot of nothing.
Nate, what's yours?
Mine is to I'm gonna go with the answer that everyone on the show gives. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
And this year, I'm going to start smoking. So thank you all for listening. We appreciate you all. Happy New Year to everyone. And we can't wait to see what's going to happen in the new year. Bye.